Here is a little reported fact that will keep the cervix-free leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer, awake at night. The latest polling suggests that 20% of the public haven't decided who they're going to vote for at the next election. The don't knows will likely decide who goes into number 10, which I think gives hope to our pint-sized Premier, Rishi Sunak, whose glass might be half full rather than half empty tonight. With millions of voters who are don't knowers up and for grabs and available, there is so much that we do know. Inflation is coming down and growth is going in the right direction, whilst Germany languishes in recession. And Britain has just leapfrogged France as number 8 in the world for manufacturing. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, those who say we don't make stuff anymore. We've got a free trade deal with a bloc larger than the whole of the EU combined, the CPTPP, which I thought was a cough mixture, plus free trade with our Brussels neighbours, the EU. Inward investment into Britain is higher than Italy, France or Germany. And whilst the economy is still knackered, what do you expect after shutting the country down for 3 years? What's becoming clear, and what we do know, is that Britain is through the worst of it, and we are on the up. And whilst don't knows could decide the outcome of the next election, here's more of what we do know. The alternative to the Tories, who, don't get me wrong, have been terrible, is Labour, and they are worse. We do know that Labour are horribly divided over Israel, with scores of backbenchers calling for a ceasefire, which is a clear message to the only democracy in the Middle East to accept Hamas terror and, frankly, to suck it up. We do know that 5 years of Labour will mean 5 years of woke madness, with a leader of the opposition who can't even define what a woman is, even though he's married to one. And still, to this day, so-called gender-critical MPs, which in my book means gender-factual, are being targeted by the hard left of the party. The brilliant Labour MP, Rosie Duffield, who has stood up bravely for women's hard-won sex-based rights and challenges the mad idea that you can change your biological sex, is being targeted in a Labour Party deselection campaign because she liked a joke on Twitter. Starmer originally wanted self-ID, in which you can unilaterally suddenly decide you're a lady, and Labour backbencher Lloyd Russell Moyle reacted in this troubling manner after a speech from Tory MP Miriam Cates defending women-only spaces.
Women are far less powerful than men. We can't defend ourselves.
The idea of linking trans people with predators, frankly, is disgusting, and you should be ashamed.
No, calm down.
Moments later, Russell Moyle sat closer to Cates and was accused of intimidation. The Labour MP later apologised for his tone. I'm sure he did. Let me be clear, Labour is the party of trans madness, that we do know. What else do we know? That if they reach power, Labour will be under massive pressure from the public sector for a flood of investment, even though the country's broke. Every department will be crying out for cash that we haven't got. So that's more spending and more borrowing. Good luck tackling inflation and the national debt with Keir Starmer in charge. We do know that Labour will be under enormous pressure from the unions to give their members a bumper pay rise. If you thought the strikes were bad under the Tories, just imagine a Labour government who are funded by the union barons. Let me tell you, it's very hard to stand up to the people who are paying your wages. We do know that Labour are less likely to push back on woke madness in the classroom, with children being told they're racist because of the colour of their skin. Children being brainwashed into the idea that we have a shameful rather than glorious history. And children being told that they may have been born in the wrong body, that they're Johnny rather than Jane. We do know that Labour are unlikely to stop the boats or tackle legal net migration, given that they blocked the Rwanda plan and other government measures. And many in the Labour movement don't really believe in national borders. They love a bit of free movement, which is why many on the backbenches crave a closer relationship with the EU. And that's another thing. We do know that Brexit is not safe in the hands. Why? Well, because Brexit is anathema to the North London chattering classes, who are Labour's ideological audience. They hate the idea of British sovereignty. They're not patriotic, and they particularly detest people power. So, a week is a long time in politics. The election could be in May, but it could be as late as November, which is almost a year from now. Which means it's all to play for. The only thing we do know is the don't knows will decide it. Mrs Starmer shouldn't be measuring up for curtains at number 10 just yet. The Tories might pull themselves together.